Good evening, everyone. Chief Meteorologist Joel Fritzma here, alongside Ryan, who's in the background. We are the Michigan Storm
Hello.
Chasers. Yes, there he is. And we have a little bit of a briefing to go through tonight in terms of severe weather happening this weekend. It is currently July 10th today, 2025. We got July 11th and July 12th with two possible severe weather days. We start first by looking at what the SPC comes out with, and then we'll go into the forecast we put out separately this morning. So the Storm Prediction Center, first off, today has West Michigan and a thunderstorm risk. This goes through 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. That is due to some ongoing storms that are across the lake right now in Illinois, northern Illinois, southern Wisconsin, and these will eventually move over across the lake in a non-severe variety. I would say very close to at least being some strong storms tomorrow morning, but again, with lower instability, it's likely these storms will stay sub-severe. So again, that's why the thunderstorm risk does extend through 8 a.m. because thunderstorms will move over the lake overnight tonight. So again, no really worry through the rest of tonight. However, we start by looking into Friday beyond 8 a.m. Again, the morning stuff not expected to be severe. We're going to have a batch of showers and thunderstorms move across the state tomorrow, and you'll see that here in the model runs in just a second. These showers and thunderstorms will move through the state in the morning through the afternoon hours, probably between 8 a.m. and anywhere between 8 a.m. to about that 2 to 3 o'clock time frame. After that, we look back off to the west and see perhaps another cluster, a couple clusters of storms moving across the lake. As a result, the Storm Prediction Center has put most, if not all, of southern Michigan in some sort of severe risk for tomorrow. Again, anywhere in the level green or in the green color is a level 1 risk, and in the yellow, which was updated today at about 1:30, is a level 2 risk now, again as an upgrade. And then up there in the UP, there is no risk, just a thunderstorm risk anywhere where you see a light green. And if there's nothing in the background, then no risk for thunderstorms at all tomorrow. So primarily severe weather risk tomorrow is going to be anywhere south of that US 10 border. And as mentioned, the thunderstorms tomorrow that will be severe will be anywhere from late afternoon through the evening and overnight hours, likely ending sometime around midnight or maybe a little bit later after midnight. It's going to be about maybe like an 8 to 10 hour window beyond 4 or 5 o'clock tomorrow. Individual hazards for this, again, there's a 2% risk for tornadoes, which was added today. This again extends pretty much through that entire risk zone. The reason why there's a slight risk though is for winds, and that is a 15% chance. And a hail is a smaller threat due to the showers and storms being kind of more linear, with a more of a linear mode that's going to end up being more of a damaging wind risk in the first place. But again, if there are any more somewhat discrete cells kind of poking out in front of the line, then we could see a quick hail threat pop up. And again, it's a 5% chance there from the Storm Prediction Center for a severe hail report, which would be 1 inch in diameter. Again, damaging winds start at 60 miles per hour, and then the tornado risk could just be any tornado in general. Then we look to Saturday, and as of this morning, it was 100% of the state had some sort of severe percentages, probabilities for tomorrow, or sorry, on Saturday, and now that has been trimmed back, so extreme western UP no longer in a severe risk for Saturday. However, 98% of the state does have some probabilities to see severe weather on Saturday. And again, in the green is somewhere around that 5 to 15% range, and then that 15 to 30% range is going to be there in the yellow and the slight risk. And again, this is from the Storm Prediction Center. We do have different risks we would like to show you guys right now. So again, severe weather risk for Friday and for Saturday. This is our thoughts. We released these earlier this morning to our Patreon members first. Again, to join the Patreon, you can do so by clicking on the link, which one of our mods will put in the comments, patreon.com/Michigan Storm Chasers. Totally optional to join. We released it this afternoon for everyone else here on Facebook and all our other social media platforms. Level 2 risk, which is a low risk across the state. You'll notice our risk was a little bit shifted further north. That was due to overnight model runs last night into early this morning, predicting that this line of storms would be a little bit further north. Now again, we'll have more model runs coming out later tonight and overnight into tomorrow, and we'll have an updated map for you guys tomorrow to potentially kind of line ourselves up with what the SPC said when shifting that risk a little bit further south. But as it stands right now, from when we made this morning, that risk is a little bit further north, closer into central Michigan. Again, anywhere where you see the level 1 or the level 2 risk, you are in some sort of probabilities to get severe weather. It is low. Keep that in mind. If we cycle through them here, you'll see the hail risk, as mentioned, kind of lines up with the SPC. Again, we didn't use the SPC for guidance here, but it is a level 1 risk, which is a 5 to 14% chance in the blue. The main risk, as mentioned, kind of similar to the SPC though, is that damaging wind risk, where it is a level 2 of 6. That is a 5. Sorry, this one was supposed to be 1 to 4. This one's 5 to 14. I just realized I made an error there. So this is 5 to 14. The hail chances is 1 to 4. Anywhere you see the green is going to be that 5 to 14 range. So that's Grand Rapids over to Flint, up towards Saginaw, Tri-Cities region, and even north towards Clare. But again, we'll watch for shifts. Then we have the tornado risk, which was a little bit of a surprise to add. We kind of threw this in here this morning at kind of the last minute. We noticed that there's a little bit of more spin along the warm front that's supposed to move through. Kind of in that M46 region just north of Grand Rapids, and as a result, we did put a small little area of 3 to 5% odds that a tornado could occur within any storm. As a reminder, the odds are always 0% until you get a storm. So if you don't get a storm tomorrow, then your odds will just stay 0%. But in the case that you do get a storm, it would be a 3 to 5% chance that you could see a tornado form out of it. So if you want to think optimistically, it's more like a 95 to 97% chance that you don't. So it's a very low risk still nonetheless, but the odds are low, not 0. And again, this could shift south as guidance comes in overnight tonight. We will have another set of maps released for you guys tomorrow morning. And again, we'll have another briefing update tomorrow morning, sometime probably around 11 a.m. So check back then for an updated map on this. But this is as it stands right now. Again, level 2 of 6 risk from us truly here at Michigan Storm Chasers is our own in-house forecast package. And the risk timing is peaking between 4 p.m. and we added as late as 6 a.m. in case it does go a little bit further overnight. But we believe that the primary timing will be really any time between 4 and 5 p.m. and about that midnight time frame. So again, that midnight to 6 a.m. time frame tomorrow night is just in case severe lingers around a little bit longer. If there's any excess instability out there that's tapping into, then that's something to watch out for. Then we move into Saturday. Again, this was before they upgraded to a slight risk on the SBC this morning. We were like, I was kind of sitting there pondering. I was like, you know, that wind risk, again, if you have one big line that stretches all the way across the state, that usually is the one thing that gets us our damaging wind risk statewide. And so we figured might as well throw it in here. It would be a 15 to 24% chance of damaging winds anywhere you see the level 3 risk, and also for 1-inch hail as well. Right now, according to some of the model runs, which you'll see here in just a second, the storm mode could become kind of multi-cellular at first. And again, when you have cells instead of a linear segment, that's when you get that all hazards risk possible. Once you get towards more of that linear the entire linear segment, then it turns into more of a damaging wind risk. So that is that. We don't have any individual hazard maps out yet for Saturday. This is just the generic one for now. Again, you can see in the top right up there on the right side of your screen, that's the level equivalent for each hazard. So tornadoes a little bit lower, winds and hail are the main threats for Saturday, but don't be surprised if those shift up and down accordingly as we get our next update tomorrow morning. So those are your risks. Now let's go look at the model runs that have come out so far today. We'll start first with the HRRR run that was released about 2 p.m. this afternoon. You can see the storms today occurring in Illinois and Wisconsin. I will say that it kind of shows more of a multicellular mode right now on radar than it does a linear mode, so it could be signs of what's to come on Friday, maybe even to Saturday. Again, these storms will race off across Lake Michigan overnight. This is going to be around 6 to 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. Again, those storms are not expected to be severe. And we roll into about 2 p.m. tomorrow. These storms are now moving over to the east side of the state. We look back off to the west for our developing line of perhaps strong thunderstorms and even severe overnight. And again, this is a little bit later. So this has it coming through around that 10 o'clock time frame tomorrow night, and then moving off into the Tri-Cities region by around, that's probably about 3 a.m. So yeah, this is a little bit later than what we saw in the model runs earlier this morning when we made those maps. So again, this is the latest update, and again, we'll have probably more shifts as we get into tomorrow morning. Then we move into Saturday, and it has that big line all the way up to Mackinac Island, stretching from Mackinac Island all the way down to the state line. And this is the latest scan we have on the HRRR run. Once we get into tomorrow morning, we'll have another 48-hour time period we can look at, which will include the entire event on Saturday. So you can see this line is developing on across Lower Peninsula, Michigan on Saturday around 1 to 2 o'clock in the afternoon. We also are watching back in the Upper Peninsula as well. You can see up here in the top of your screen in the Marquette region, Isthmian over towards Champion, a second line that could develop and result in a marginal risk of severe up there as well, kind of behind this main line. We can also cross-reference with the RRFS experimental, which is one of our newer model runs we use here all the time. Same story here. You have storms moving through overnight tonight into tomorrow morning. This shows it maybe being a little bit stronger in the Berrien County, Cass County region. We'll have to keep our eye out for any special weather statements early tomorrow morning. I would not expect any severe, but again, you never know in summertime days like tomorrow when we have so much instability out there, so much moisture. You never know, surprises can happen. Then we move into the afternoon hours. It's about 3 p.m. tomorrow, 4 p.m., 5 p.m., 6 p.m., 7 p.m. Sorry, this is, tomorrow, 8 p.m. And it shows it developing around 7 or 8 o'clock in the Grand Rapids area, and then moving off to the east with additional storms firing overnight as well. That would exist between, probably 2 to 6 a.m. there, according to our model runs. And then we get into Saturday, and that's when it really starts to blow up. It doesn't show as much up north on the RFS. I noticed this before we went live here. It shows more of the cells being confined down south. However, again, those cells up in the UP also becoming strong as well and pushing off to the east. So we could have, if the RFS is right here, again, multicellular, so you could have multiple cells all up and down a line instead of one giant Boeing segment. So it's kind of like pick your poison. Do you want all hazards risk, or do you want just a line of gusty winds? And that's really what we're going to have to watch out for. If there's any sort of dry air or some sort of capping inversion kind of mixing in, which is like a lid in the atmosphere, even the slightest cap could turn this from a Boeing segment into a multicellular environment where the cells are more discrete in nature. In some places will get missed, obviously, but with a multicellular environment, those storms are likely stronger in all aspects. So keep that in mind. Another thing that we're watching as well, which is good news for everyone that's listening that might have storm anxiety, is there could be oversaturation. What I mean by that is because there's so much moisture in the atmosphere this weekend, again, dew points are going to be pushing 70, even over 70. I noticed off the NAM, dew points are pushing even 75 in spots. Not sure if that'll be accurate or not, but if we do have a lot of moisture out there, it's more susceptible to overmixing, which means storms pop up everywhere. That could mean severe at first, but that means severe will likely become less severe more quickly as the atmosphere kind of overworks itself, if that makes any sense. So it's using up all that juice a lot quicker to just put down rain everywhere across the state, which rain is much needed for some locations, especially in West Michigan. So hopefully West Michigan doesn't get skipped by the rain this event. You guys need it. And also Central Michigan as well. But again, it is a fail mode that would prevent more severe storms from occurring. And again, this is your time frame. This is going to be, let's see here. This is off the RFS about 3-ish in the afternoon, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. So it looks like it'll be done around 10 o'clock tomorrow at the latest. Could be done as early as 8, unless, of course, the UP is still going at the time. So as early as around that 1 to 2 o'clock time frame on Saturday. Sorry if I keep saying tomorrow. Saturday is 2 days away. This is the Saturday loop. Anytime between like 1 o'clock and maybe 10 o'clock as those storms slowly move across the state. And again, because these storms are moving slowly, we'll have to watch out for perhaps some flooding on Saturday as well. We'll take a look at that right now. Precipitation totals off the RRFS show, yes, a lot of rain in spots, especially where the heavier thunderstorms are occurring. This is just the rain through Friday. So you can see if we have a nice strong cell tomorrow night, that could put down isolated pockets of 2 to 4 inches of rain. And then we move into Saturday where that just builds on top of what we already saw on Friday. So the Weather Prediction Center, which specializes in rain and other just normal fair weather factors, does have a marginal risk in Michigan for Friday into Saturday as well. And again, that is for excessive rainfall that could result in some minor flash flooding across the state. And as you can see here, these are your rainfall totals projected off the RFS through Saturday. So could see around 1 to 3 inches of rain, sometimes upwards of 3 to 4 in spots. Most people will probably get anywhere between that, probably around that 1 to 2 inch range, especially if you're in West Michigan. Let's fingers crossed, again, for those who are watching in West Michigan right now, fingers crossed and get some rain out of this because it is dry as a bone out there right now. We've been seeing your pictures in the comment section on Facebook and X and all of our social media platforms saying, hey, this is what our yard looks like. It's yellow. Please give us the rain. And we can't control it, but we wish we could give you rain. And hopefully this is a good shot this weekend that you do get that rain. So that is all. I will say that there are some models that are starting to come in that have shown more of a shift to starting a little bit further east, actually, on Saturday. The FV3, for example, has the cells on Saturday starting right mainly only in eastern Michigan, so pretty much to the east of 127. So that means West Michigan, you guys would miss out on any showers and storms. Good news for skipping severe, bad news for the rainfall rates, but it does still have that second line up in the UP. So we'll have to keep an eye on the exact placement of where this line will occur. If tomorrow speeds up at all, then Saturday would likely as well. So again, what happens tomorrow may affect what happens on Saturday, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. And why we'll also have an updated map tomorrow for you guys first thing tomorrow morning. And we'll have a briefing tomorrow morning. As long as there's no severe happening in the morning tomorrow, that is a surprise. So again, this Friday and Saturday that we're watching right now. So 2 days back to back. Here's Friday's map. You can see pretty much all the way across the state. You have a level 1 and a level 2 risk pretty much everywhere south of the M55 there. And then on Saturday, we have the entire state in some sort of percentages to see severe weather. It's not guaranteed in every spot. However, the odds are a little bit heightened, especially in the yellow zone where those odds of seeing damaging winds and some large hail would be around a 15 to 24% chance. So again, if you're thinking optimistically, it's a 75 to 85% chance that you don't see those hazards at your place. So keep that in mind. Severe weather is never a guarantee, but the odds are heightened for this event, as this is finally a system that's coming through providing storms, whereas the last couple weeks, as you guys know, it's just been pop-up storms everywhere and anywhere, literally for like the last 3 weeks. And that's why some places are getting 5 inches of rain one day, where 10 miles down the road and you're not getting rain, and vice versa. So this hopefully will provide a lot of rain for areas that need it, if anything. Unfortunately, it does come with the risk for severe weather, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. And as always, we will be live here at Michigan Storm Chasers on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and X when severe weather strikes. So make sure you're following us on at least 2 of those platforms in case one platform goes down. We highly recommend YouTube, but Facebook is our most followed. So I believe that is all I have to talk about here on this evening. Again, we'll go to questions now. I'll actually start by reading off some members here. We have Lori becoming an EF0 member here on YouTube. Thank you, Lori, for becoming part of the team. We have Jacob M. becoming a member for 9 months as well. Thank you both for supporting Operation Costs here at Michigan Storm Chasers. Ryan, I know you're still back there. Do you got anything to add right now?
I have nothing. You covered that pretty well.
Thank you.
We'll be live at 11 a.m. tomorrow. Joel will have you covered. I may or may not be in that briefing, but if you want an update on how the afternoon is looking for tomorrow, I would definitely recommend tuning in at 11 a.m. Facebook, YouTube, X, and Twitch.
Indeed. It's going to be a busy probably 48 hours for us here at Michigan Storm Chasers. We're going to keep our fingers crossed that it's not, because we do not like to see the damage and destruction that we've seen so far across Michigan this year, especially with our tornado count being at 29 as it stands. An update on that real quick before I forget. There has been no tornadoes confirmed yet this month. I know we've had a couple tornado warnings within the last week, specifically in Gladwin County and then yesterday over in Huron County. Neither of those has been surveyed as confirmed tornadoes yet, or they won't likely be confirmed. But we'll see. You never know. They could pull a rabbit out of the hat and they surprise us, a couple days down the road. We'll see.
Yeah, it really comes down to viewer reports, too. Sometimes pictures or videos can filter in at a later date that shows a touchdown that actually occurred that, we didn't see 3 days before. So it's possible. I also want to make a note that models during these summertime setups, they don't really do overly well. I mean, sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But we could be looking at models here for tomorrow, not showing much of anything. But we get to tomorrow, we could have, multiple cells that become strong or severe. Same thing applies to Saturday. Some models are shifting it way east, some are way west. It's more so play it by ear. The environment both days is supportive of severe weather. That's what's important. So even if, some areas get missed some days, that's a great thing. But it's really going to come down to how everything comes together the day of. So that's why we're going to be doing briefings tomorrow morning, so we can kind of give you guys the update on how things do look. So it's important to stay tuned. If not to us, then to the SPC or trusted forecasters who can give you guys updates. But we'll always be here for you guys, so tune in here.
It's definitely possible we could see downgrades as well, especially for certain areas. I would imagine they'll keep this slight in some aspect over the next 2 days, but it will shift around probably and shrink in some spots. Not likely for southern Michigan, but again, maybe places up north. As we're seeing, I'm looking here on the RFS right now. It looks like our instability doesn't make it as far north as what we previously thought and the SPC previously thought. However, you can see here, surface-based CAPE is the measurement of instability. It's basically, think of it as storm fuel. You're filling up your storms with instability here. And again, these values, we look for values over 1,000. We see plenty of values over 1,000 across the area. This is for Friday night. And then on Saturday, it really starts to pick up again statewide, where values could exceed 2250 for much of the region. And then as you can see, as the storms move through the state, you can see how it kind of takes a chomp out of the instability. It eats it all up, and it goes away. And for Sunday, we're not expecting any severe weather. Again, Sunday should be a nice day. So if you have plans that can be rescheduled to Sunday, I highly recommend. Again, it's your plans, it's your call. We're not going to tell you to do that, obviously, but again, you can see severe weather probabilities are heightened for the next 2 days. So if it's better safe than sorry, you can reschedule for Sunday. If not, you can power through as long as you have ways to receive warning over the next 2 days. Ways to receive warning, such as a weather radio. I have mine right here. It's kind of too late to order from Amazon with 1 day shipping unless you have Prime or whatever. But you can find these on Amazon. Midland Weather Radios, WR120 is the version. WR120 to repeat. You can find these on Amazon for like 40 or 50 bucks, I believe they are now. Additionally, you can also pick them up at a local hardware store. I know Ace, I think, carries them. I think maybe Home Depot or Lowe's. Otherwise, again, Amazon will be the best, and you can obviously have them ready for your next event. One thing about weather radios as well is they have battery backup, so you can just get 3 AA batteries and then plug them in. So if you lose power, they'll still go off. So that's the best thing about weather radios. They're also very loud, and they'll wake you up if you happen to be asleep during the time. Otherwise, you have weather apps. Emergency by the Red Cross is one. You can also download FEMA. They both have really good apps for alerting you of severe weather, because the alerts on your phone, for those who don't know, those alerts sound for tornado warnings only, as well as destructive severe thunderstorm warnings, which is like the highest level severe thunderstorm warning. So it doesn't sound on your phone for level 2, level 1 warnings. It only does for like the level 3 severe. So tornado warnings and destructive severe thunderstorm warnings. So if you want an app to get the normal severe thunderstorm warnings, that is a good way to go about it. If you're not as interested in the weather as say we are, you can always rely on the buddy system. So if you have someone that's really interested in the weather and always is tracking it, rely on them to give you a text if they know there's severe weather heading in your general direction. You always say that's an option. As long as sirens aren't your only way of getting a warning, because as a reminder, sirens are meant to be heard outdoors only. They're called outdoor warning sirens for a reason. So make sure you have one or multiple ways to receive warning that we just listed besides the sirens.
And as well, if you see a storm rolling in, you don't have radar, don't have an app, don't have a radio, you can always tune into our YouTube or Facebook page. If we're not live, there's no severe weather going on. If there is severe weather, we're always going to be live.
Yep. That's a good rule of thumb. If you're always curious, like, hey, there's that dark cloud coming for me, I should go check Michigan Storm Chasers, see if they're live. If we're not live, chances are there is 100% chance that storm is not severe, because we are live anytime there is literally a warning in place. So we have not missed a beat in the last year and a half.
3 years.
3 years technically. But since the start of 2024, we've been live for every single severe warning in the entire state. Yes, we're always watching. It's like the Mike Wazowski meme from Monsters, Inc. Yeah, I think Walmart. Yeah, Walmart has them as well. I was trying to think. There was one more store that carried them.
Yeah, Walmart. I think Meijer has them too. The unfortunate part is they raised prices it was like $40. I think it's $50 now.
Yeah.
So I've been asked a few times for cheaper options. You can get the smaller versions. I think like $20, but they're not as. I think they run solely off of batteries. I don't think they can plug in. The WR120 is best option because, like Joel said, it has a battery backup and you can plug it in too. And it's also a lot more customizable down to your county and down to the warnings you want to be notified for. So that's the best option out there. It's getting a little pricey, $50, but it could and will save your life.
Yeah.
So it's well worth the investment.
I was just about to say that. It's $50 that could end up saving your life someday. You never know when you could need it, especially since here in Michigan we do seem to get a lot of nocturnal storms every once in a while. Especially here in Michigan, it's like 50% of ours sometimes, especially when we get into those late season months. In the fall and the spring, when we don't have as much daylight as we do right now. So keep that in mind. Again, it's like $50 for Midland Weather Radio, and that version is WR120. We've thought about that before, Crystal, doing Tigers game forecasts. We'd have to do one like every day, though. They play 82 times at home during the summer and spring and fall.
12Z would be 8 a.m. Eastern.
Yes. And we are in daylight time. When we get back to standard time in the winter, it's like a 5 hour difference. Could you imagine? Why am I getting maps for winter 5 months later? Also,
Let's go back to the Friday risk map if we can. Just kind of toggle back and forth between the two. I see a lot of questions about areas being in threats. So Friday's risk area is further south in the state of Michigan. Up there in the UP and far northern lower, the risk is pretty much minimal for severe weather. But further south there, especially in the blue and the green zones, that's going to be the most concern there for your Friday. But then Saturday's more of a widespread threat, pretty much statewide risk, much higher there in the yellow color. And that is as of current models. That could change, shift, and kind of, meander around between now and Saturday. So stay tuned to the latest forecast. But Saturday's definitely much, I'm going to say more concerning, given a bit more wind shear, a bit more instability available, a little bit more of a widespread threat than it is on Friday. So Saturday's the day I'm personally kind of keeping a close eye on, but that doesn't mean Friday's not going to do anything either. So, but both days, both risks, just for separate areas here. Saturday's more widespread. Tyler asks in chat here, do you think they're going to add an enhanced risk? I do not at this point. We'd have to see a major uptrend between now and then. It's not impossible, but this setup I wouldn't really suggest would bring an enhanced risk into the table.
They just today at the 1:30 p.m. update just added the slight risk, or in our case, I guess you could say the medium risk equivalent to their maps. Because they just added, I mean, we've seen this before, Ryan, where we've seen actually like a marginal go from marginal to a moderate in 24 hours. It's not unheard of, but especially with this event, again, we would need a super big uptrend for something to change. And again, it has happened before in the summer, but at the current time, it doesn't look like that's currently possible. Saturday, if I had to pick between the 2 days, Ryan, I would probably say Saturday. There's more time, and we can figure out what's going to actually happen with Friday first. Because again, what happens Friday, if it slows way down on Friday, then we could see Saturday starting a lot further west and becoming, a big issue for peak daytime heating during the afternoon hours for the central portions of the state, and that would result in likely a stronger damaging wind risk, which would basically change that from slight to an enhanced for just the damaging wind risk.
Right. Yeah, summertime setups like these can be tricky. They are tricky. Not can be. They are very tricky. So we'll play it by ear.
As a reminder, we did make these forecasts this morning before they upgraded both of these risks to a level. For them, it's a level 2 out of 5. For us, it's level 3 of 6. We have an extra category on our maps just to give a little bit more of leeway for a low-end day. So I had this level 3 risk on here before, I guess the SBC did. But again, we release these every morning on Patreon first, and then we release them to the public in the afternoon. And again, we'll have more maps or updated maps out tomorrow morning as well. And those will be out probably first thing in the morning, since it will be the day of. Prime Day ends tomorrow, so looking for Midland radio check there. It's a good idea, actually. I just realized that. I'm hearing voices in my head. Oh, wait, it's just Ryan.
Yeah, I'm Oz today. I'm in the background. Want to thank you to Jan, who just became a Patreon member. Appreciate your support there.
Yeah, thank you.
And also, just a PSA, Joel's been saying Patreon members, but those forecasts also go out to our Facebook subscribers. If you're on Facebook, you can subscribe to our page. They also go out to our Discord members as well. If you're on our Discord, you want to become a Discord member, they also get posted into the members chat there too. So it doesn't have to be Patreon. You can always do it on Facebook and or Discord.
Absolutely. Patreon's always first, though. It's probably the easiest.
Yeah, Patreon is definitely the platform we push people to, just because it's much easier. It's much better formatted to read the forecasts. So that's what we always recommend people to go subscribe to. It's also an app that you can get notified on with our forecasts. So it's really beneficial. But we have to give them out to Facebook as well as Discord as well. So
yep.
All members do get those.
And for those who are curious, Patreon is as low as $2 a month. If you pay monthly, if you pay annually, I think it's less than that. It's like one and change. So again, it's totally optional to do. We don't make you guys pay for it or anything, and everything that you see on Patreon is essentially going to be posted on our page later in the day. Anyways, it's just so if you want extra a little bit of forecast knowledge from us here at Michigan Storm Chasers to start your day every day, that is there for you guys to do. And in return, it supports our operational costs here at Michigan Storm Chasers. So again, it's as low as $2 a month. It's basically pennies a day. If you guys would like to join, again, it's patreon.com/Michigan Storm Chasers. But feel no need to join is there if you guys want to. How about that weather today? There was really nothing out there. It started out foggy this morning. Again, dew points and temperatures right around the same limit. And then dry air just swooped right in, took those dew points right back down. We popped up, because the dew points took a while to exit the state on the east side, we had one storm pop up, head towards Richmond, and produce actually damaging downbursts today, which I don't believe were detected on radar because the Detroit radar was down at the time. And so we didn't really have a way to see it at a close range there in, I believe it was Macomb County. So we had one downburst today. Elsewhere, it was fairly sunny out there once we got through all that fog, and actually pretty comfortable out there tonight with the dew points rather low. They are still a little hot down there on the east side of the state, dew points in the mid-60s, but if you live to the west right now, dew points are in the 50s, which I would say is pretty comfortable.
I will just say down here in the very extreme southeast part of the state, it was pretty muggy out there pretty much the entire day. So unless you live like by Detroit, Monroe, Adrian areas, you were had a pretty pleasant day out there. But otherwise, we're still swimming in humidity down here.
Yeah, that helps when you have a northwest wind, winds out of the northwest, bringing in cooler, drier air from the north, especially this time of the year. If you get winds out of the south, obviously it pulls in all that moisture from the Gulf into the state. So again, we'll have that wind shift probably tomorrow, and then you'll see those dew points rise right back up tomorrow morning, right back into the 70s, and that'll stay that way through Saturday as well. And that's why, again, we mentioned oversaturation is possible for Saturday with these storms.
We might have to bring out the muggy meter for the weekend, Joel.
Yeah.
That'd be a good idea. Well, I mean, the good news is we haven't had to break out the window meter in a while.
Yeah, I know. I posted it for fun this week just to say, hey, it's still here. It's just on vacation. Here's a level 1 risk. Because we had a weak front come through earlier this week that had wind gusts of like 10 to 15. So that's barely going to lift the lid open. But yeah, it's been nice. We had the windiest spring on record, and then it's kind of calmed down within the last month. I'm going to knock on wood now to see if it can stay calm. But as a trade-off, though, of course, it gets calmer overall. But you have severe storms that happen and produce damaging downbursts, which is 60-mile-per-hour winds. So it's neither here nor there. Again, it's more isolated in nature during the summer when you have severe storms versus widespread when you have big systems during the spring. Yeah, we'll probably put out a rainfall map tomorrow morning as well. They'll be included in tomorrow's package.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to pinpoint flood risks because a lot of these storms can train over the same areas, which we really can't see that on radar until it actually happens. So we can give like a wider, broad scale look, like, hey, this area could have some flooding, but to get localized on that basis would be very hard to do.
Yeah. Can we get a taco watch and taco warning emote? It's done. I'm working on it right now.
Speaking of watch and warnings, I could see a couple watches being issued for either tomorrow and or Saturday. So if anybody has any questions regarding that, the answer would be possible. Not probably, but possible. I would say Saturday is a better day at having a watch than Friday does. Julie wants a Ferris wheel emoji. I did it now. I started a trend.
These might not be updated. They just might not be in until after the stream, just to let you guys know. But they'll be in at some point.
Make it happen for you guys. Any other questions here, guys? Feel free to pop them in chat. Thank you, Taylor, for becoming a Patreon member.
Thank you very much. It's a good point. Yeah, the brand name of the radio has nothing to do with the city of Midland itself. It's just the brand name. They are not out of Midland. I honestly thought so myself at first, Ryan. When I heard Midland Weather Radio, I'm like, oh, they're based out of Midland, Michigan. No, it's not the case.
No, they're just a nationwide brand that they do produce pretty good radios. So I will donate 100 memberships if Joel adds the Ferris wheel.
Well, the pressure's on now.
Pressure's on, Joel. Pressure's on. Tanya, tomorrow across southern and parts of central Michigan, possibility for a brief tornado. Yes. Saturday, a little bit up in the air. I would say probably a low end risk for Saturday as well. I think Saturday is more of a wind and hail risk. But of course, you never can rule these out either day in the state here. So low end risk, not a huge risk either day, at least at this current time. Yes, so a storm watch, whether it's severe, flood, tornado, it means that that particular hazard, severe thunderstorm, a tornado, flooding, is all possible within the next couple hours. Whereas a warning means that it's actively happening, and that means you take action. So basically, a watch means prepare, and a warning means take action immediately. As far as we know, we have not had any confirmations of any tornadoes over the past couple of days. We've had a few warnings up there by Gladwin, down there by Huron County, and we had funnel clouds yesterday in East Tawas as well as near Harbor Beach. And as of right now, we have heard of no confirmations of that. Joel, we have some questions in chat here about an SPC watch party tonight. I would recommend doing one Saturday night or Friday night for Saturday instead. That'd be what I would do.
Ryan, I'm not going to be here.
No?
I'm not going to be here Friday night.
Not 2 a.m.
I don't know. I won't be in my apartment, so you'd have to host it.
Yeah, that's true. Are you going to be around Saturday for coverage?
I will.
Okay, so if you're around Saturday for coverage, I could probably stay up later. So we got some stuff going on here behind the scenes. I'm going up to meet one of our with Garjan tomorrow, and Joel's going to cover the page, and then afternoon I'm going to switch with him. I'll be here tomorrow afternoon and evening, and Joel's going to pop out for some personal stuff, and then I believe Saturday we'll be both back on here for coverage. So we'll play it by ear. We'll see. I don't think we're going to do one for tonight, though, unless Joel wants to.
No, probably Saturday night. Easy for me to say, right? All right, how do I insert this emoji? Levels. Edit. Emoji.
Main time frame for Friday tomorrow would be right around 4 p.m. And then most models are shown later after 7 p.m. But models aren't really always the best with these setups. So it could be as early as 4. But most models are staying closer to like that 7, 8, 9 and after time frame. So main time frame, 4 p.m. to midnight or so. Thank you, Paul, for becoming a Patreon member. Appreciate your support as well.
All right. The emojis, the Ferris wheel emoji's in, but there's a twist on it.
Oh. There's a twist on it. I'm afraid. I think I know what you did.
You should be very afraid.
Yes, I know what you did. You took the recommendation in chat, didn't you?
No, I didn't see the recommendation. I just had an idea. What was the recommendation?
I'm not going to say anything.
Put Ryan in it?
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah. You are on it. For our
Oh no.
It's called the Ryan
What have
wheel.
you done? What have you done?
So if you are a channel member here on YouTube, if you've paid to become a channel member, check your emojis you guys can use. I just added the Ryan wheel.
I am face palming behind the scenes. Tanya has a good question here in chat.
Yes.
If we have 29 tornadoes so far this year, what do we think we're going to end up with by year end? Well, good question, Tanya. The answer is we're not going to know. We just went through the entire month of June. Did we even have a tornado in June, Joe? I don't think we did. I think our last tornado was May 16th.
Nope. Give me a second.
So June is our most active month historically. We can still get tornadoes through July and August, but after July and August are over, our season pretty much is typically done. There's a low chance for a fall season. We can get a few tornadoes during the fall.
We had Fraser on June 18th.
We had on June 18th. Yep. Okay, yeah. So we had one tornado in June. But yeah, I mean, we may be done for the year. We very well could be, but we still got about a month and a half left of peak severe season. So we could definitely break the record of 39 for sure. So it really just comes down to these setups. I don't think either Friday or Saturday screams outbreak of tornadoes. So, I would have to kind of wait and see what's coming down the pipeline. But as of right now, I think we're going to be right around the low to mid 30s if I had to guess.
Yeah.
That'd be what I'd go out there. But again, it takes one event. We've gotten 29 out of like 3 or 4 events here in Michigan. So if we get one big event, we have like 10 tornadoes, there's our record. So it's hard to say.
They have all been low-level tornadoes so far this year as well. So thank goodness for that. Obviously, it's not good to see the destruction, but it has been EF0s and EF1s only this year. You can look back at 2024, we had, I think, probably close. Did we have like half a dozen EF2s last year or something like that?
Oh boy, you're gonna test my knowledge here.
Yeah.
Well, we had Portage, we had Cole and Sherwood. We had, I believe, the Three Rivers was an EF2.
Yeah.
Or it was close. It wasn't.
I think we had like at least 3 or 4 last year for sure, and we haven't had any this year. And last year had less tornadoes. So we've had more tornadoes this year, but they've been a lot weaker than we've seen in the last couple of years, thankfully. I'll never forget COVID year. We only had, I think, 4 or 5 tornadoes in Michigan, if that.
Yeah. I think we had 3 in total. I think 2 of those were in the UP.
I think they were all in the UP. I think there was none in the Lower Peninsula that year. We had like 17 tornadoes last year. Any other questions? Actually, I'll go into, just because people are curious about the tornado risk, it's fair to go over here off the RFS. So this is what we call the significant tornado perimeter. So it basically combines a bunch of ingredients that we use to look at tornadoes and just combine them into one product. Basically a summation of everything that goes into tornado formations. You'll see we see some values creep in for Friday evening, but those are relatively low overall. STP values of 1, maybe 2 at most. Usually we're looking for anything higher than a 2 or a 4. And so, again, it's pretty low threat for Friday. Then we get into Saturday, and it also kind of stays the same because this mode will be semi-linear. And, again, that could change. We can actually also go look at the HRRR as well, just to give a good cross-reference since we were looking at the HRRR earlier. Go back to the 18Z run. And, yeah, there's some 1s to 2s. And then we get into Saturday, and that's like right at the edge of the range, but it looks like we're getting some more 1s to 2s for STP on Saturday as well. So a fairly low tornado threat. If we look at our supercell composite, which is just a combination of where supercells could form, it's a little bit higher. Not too crazy by any means, but again, it's something that we'll be monitoring as we get later HRRR runs in as well over the next couple of hours. Again, tomorrow morning we'll have another couple sets of models that ran overnight, and we'll be able to kind of throw everything together with a better forecast for both days, Friday, tomorrow, and Saturday. So we'll go ahead and...
Brittany,
Yep,
sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Brittany in chat here says, I used to think I saw funnels, but I learned from this channel that it was scud. Joel, I'm going to make an executive decision here. In the fall and winter season, I want to make a, not like a class, but like a seminar, I guess, of identifying cloud types and how to report stuff. I think that'd be beneficial for our followers, and I think they get a kick out of that. So
Yeah.
this fall, this winter, look out for perhaps a little bit of a weather class from us.
That's fair.
We'll do that for you guys and kind of help you out. If you guys got questions, we'll ask. Probably put out some feelers for questions we can kind of throw in there and answer, like Q&As type of stuff. Give you guys some examples of cloud types, how to identify things, how to report stuff, so on and so forth.
So once again, we'll run through the RRFS real quick just to show you guys what to expect over the next 48 hours to 60 hours here in the state of Michigan. Starting with today, we can see storms ongoing. They are on radar right now. They're starting to move on to the lake ever so slowly here. And this is projected as of 10 o'clock tonight, and they're already pretty much at the lake, so it looks like the model's a little bit further behind. So again, we'll have to watch out for speed ups here. And these storms will roll across into the southwest corner of the state, west side of the state tomorrow morning with a low thunderstorm risk. Then that complex moves off to the east side of the state by around 2 and 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We look back to the west for more storms forming tomorrow night, and those will move in really anywhere. We saw the HRRR run from like 7 to 8 o'clock on. We have it as early as 4, but it looks like it's starting a little bit later now. Again, if tomorrow speeds up at all, then it could be around that 4 o'clock time frame that we previously mentioned that it starts at. However, this model has it really anytime after 10 o'clock through around 2 or 3 a.m. in the morning. Primarily only West Michigan here for Friday. East side of the state might just luck out for what it's worth here. But then we look into Saturday. Actually, this is the HRRR. I just realized that. Let's look at the RFS because that was the main one. I was like, this is not the RFS. There we go. So there's your 8 to 10 a.m. hours. Then move over to, so here's 6 o'clock in the evening off the RFS tomorrow. You can see those cells starting to blossom there in the Grand Rapids area. And those kind of slide a little bit further east and south. Fortunately, I guess, for east side of the state, unfortunately, if you want rain, that it looks like it misses southeast Michigan again. So we'll see. And then those cells continue off to the Lake Huron vicinity by early tomorrow morning. And then we look into Saturday, and that's when all of these cells pop up across the west side of the state and move over to the east side of the state rather slowly. The earliest time frame we have here, this is around 2 o'clock for the west side of the state, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. You can also see cells popping up in the UP around 5 o'clock as well, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and 10 o'clock. So it could be 9 hours of slow-moving severe storms tomorrow, Saturday, that we have to keep in mind. Friday, a little bit more of a question mark in terms of who all is going to get severe weather. Again, the odds are there for pretty much everyone in the south side of the state. But again, we were watching shifts for the north, shifts for the south. There's still a lot to be hashed out overnight tonight into tomorrow. And again, we'll have updated maps for you guys on our page tomorrow, as well as Patreon, patreon.com/Michigan Storm Chasers. Otherwise, you can follow us on Facebook, X, Instagram. Those are all the 3 main platforms we post on. All of our usernames for all our platforms are MI Storm Chasers. Or if you just type in Michigan Storm Chasers, it will pop up. So once we get past 10 p.m. on Saturday, we should be good for the Sunday time frame. I see there's a little cell popping up by Toledo on Sunday, but let's hope that stays south of Michigan and we have a nice clear day on Sunday. So that is your last recap here. We'll go ahead and loop it through, and we'll go ahead and shout out the sponsors of this live stream for y'all, aka our trusted partners. So if you ever need any roofing, exterior work done after a storm, you need some trees cleared, we have a whole list of sponsors, about a dozen and a half of them that you guys can turn to. They are trusted and vetted, that we did our background research on. Again, we highly trust these guys, and you should too. Feel free to check them out. And they're all different parts of the state, so as I read them off, I'll read the location of the state they are in. and you guys could pause the stream, take a screenshot of the phone number or the business, and write it down for later. So we'll start off with our longest standing sponsor, StormGuard, based out of North Metro Detroit. Also have Lifestyle Exteriors, based out of Central Michigan. Cat's Roofing and Siding, from Lansing to Potterville down to Battle Creek. Also have Pro Powder, based out of South Haven, Michigan, for all your powder coating needs. Mike Hayes, Roofing and Siding, based out of Sanilac and St. Clair County. McKay Tree Specialists, based out of Southeast Michigan, for all of your tree care needs. Also have Kuiper Tree Care in West Michigan for the same reasoning. FBI Buildings, for all of your barn dominium needs across the Lower Peninsula. On Top Roofing, primarily based out of Livingston County and surrounding areas. Schneider Commercial Building Solutions, based out of Lansing, for all of your commercial roofing needs, as well as out of Lansing is Shield Public Adjusters for all of your insurance adjustment needs. Got Top Gun Roofing and Exteriors, based out of West Michigan. A-Class Construction and Restoration, based out of Mason County up near Ludington. Rainbow Restoration, also based out of Kent County in West Michigan. Rapid Radios, for all of our two-way radio communication needs here at Michigan Storm Chasers. Trust them for your communications as well. And lastly, we have Guardian Technologies, our host of all of our Skynet cams across the state. We are adding more this week. Check them out if you need any security cameras installed at your place of, your residence, or if you have a business you would like to install it in that, you could do it there. And those are all of our sponsors, so we thank them very much for the continuous support of all operations here at Michigan Storm Chasers. Again, we can't do it without them, so send all of your love to our sponsors. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them. And as well as you guys here at MSC who continue to optionally fund us monetarily. And even those who support us for free as well. So if you like the stream, share the stream. It all goes a long ways. It helps your fellow Michiganders out and also boosts the algorithm for your Michiganders as well. So if you haven't hit that like button yet and you found this live briefing very helpful today, feel free to do so right now before you head out for the evening. And as always, we have whoa, there's an echo. We have a Patreon that's optional to join as well, that you can join for as low as $2 a month if you guys would like additional forecasts every day, as well as earlier access to these maps as well. Again, totally optional to join. The best way to support us, as always, is to do so for free. So thank you to all those who support us monetarily and free on a daily basis. As well as I will shout out our mods for tuning in tonight and helping out keeping the chat in check. Hopefully we didn't have to use the band hammer too much out there tonight. Hopefully you guys are staying nice and calm and collected. I know there's a full moon tonight out there. The buck moon is tonight. I do believe we just posted a post on our page around 7:30 about it. So feel free to check it out if you have clear skies out there tonight. The reason why I say that is because usually the full moon can make people go crazy. So hopefully it wasn't too much craziness in there tonight. And again, thank you, mods, for helping out with the stream. Anything else, Ryan?
Nope, you got it.
Okay. Well, then I think we will jump off. We've been live for about 55 minutes now. Current time is 7:57. Put the warning bar back on the bottom of the screen as we head out here. Again, that warning bar tomorrow and Saturday will be used for all of alerts. So that's one thing we have here at Michigan Storm Chasers. When we go live, all of those alerts, you won't miss them. They're down here at the bottom of the screen on our bottom crawler. The highest active alert will be displayed at the top, and all of the active alerts will be scrolling across the bottom. As of right now, though, there's no active alerts in Michigan as it is clear out there. But again, those will probably populate on Friday and Saturday, so make sure you come back here for our live severe weather coverage on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, or X, depending on what platform you watch, here at Michigan Storm Chasers. If you don't have any social media accounts, YouTube will be the best place to watch, as you don't need an account to sign up. All that being said, I'm Chief Meteorologist Joel Fritzma alongside Ryan, who's behind the scenes. We'd like to thank you guys for tuning in tonight for this live severe weather briefing, and we'll catch you next time here at Michigan Storm Chasers, probably tomorrow, for another severe weather briefing tomorrow morning, unless there is severe tomorrow morning. If not, we'll see you tomorrow afternoon and Saturday for severe weather coverage. Take care tonight. Have a great night out there. Check out that full moon before you go to bed, and we will catch you guys later. Have a great night, everyone.
See you guys.